Fixing and flipping, or the process of real estate investing through buying properties in need of renovation and repairs, doing the work, and then selling the rejuvenated home to a thankful buyer, remains a profitable and rewarding endeavor for many people. Fix and flips done right create a win-win scenario for everyone, and the investor earns a monetary return through the value created. The community gets improved through a restored home for its members, and the buyers get a move-in ready home in great condition. Additionally, jobs and profits are also earned by other various people involved, which can include contractors working on the renovation, various real estate professionals involved in the transaction, and lenders or investors that can provide funding for the project. A great American story of wealth and success through the hard work and investment. However, many people, especially just learning about the real estate investing for the first time, ask if you can flip houses with no money in pocket or without the cash to afford the purchase and renovation costs on a first flip. This obstacle is all too common, and real estate values continue to climb, and many everyday Americans looking to get into real estate struggle to pay bills and keep up with prices through persistent inflation, let alone save up the funds for a large real estate purchase. How to flip houses with no money. Well, if there is a magic solution to get started flipping houses with no money in hand, sadly, like all things, that sounds too good to be true. It is very unlikely you will be able to get rolling in fixing and flipping if you have no money to start. When capital providers, such as investors and lenders, provide the money for flips, they almost always want to see what's generally referred to as skin in the game. This means that the person pursuing the flip should have at least something invested in the project money-wise. With zero skin in the game, it's all too easy for an aspiring flipper to walk away and give up when things get tough. And newsflash, fix and flip projects almost always have challenges and obstacles to overcome. Without any personal losses on the line if things go sideways and the liability to walk away with no costs incurred, financing 100% of the project is rarely done by legitimate lenders or investors. Word to the wise, while sometimes 100% financing for a fix and flip project will be offered, even for a novice, be very wary, as this could indicate a dishonest deal or predatory terms to compensate for the lender's risk, such as excessively high interest rates and hidden fees. Sources of funds for flips. Investor partners. A classic way people used to start flipping houses with no money or little money in hand is to partner with an investor. In these cases, a partnership is formed with typically one party providing the money, the investor, and the other party doing all of the work, such as finding the deal, doing or overseeing the renovations, and listing and selling the property. That's the flipper. In these cases, a simple LLC or other legal agreement can be created that sets the terms of how much is invested and how the profits are split. The investor is able to get a return on the funds through a share of the flipping profits, and the flipper is able to get a share of profits on the project without having to have invested money. However, many of these investors are going to be wary of giving 100% of the money to the flipper and require the flipper to contribute at least some of the funds in order to have that all-important skin in the game. Further, many real estate flippers, once they have completed a few projects, will seek to move away from these arrangements, as it likely starts to feel unfair to receive half or even less of the profits of a hard-earned flip when you've done all the work. In these cases, many flippers gravitate towards hard money lenders instead of private investors, as these loans can provide the money without requiring loss of ownership of the property or needing to split the profits. Hard money loans for fix and flips are loans provided by a private lender to fund these projects. Instead of requiring a partnership agreement and share of ownership, hard money lenders charge interest and fees for the capital provided. While this does increase costs of the project, many investors prefer this route since they retain ownership over the projects they pour all their efforts into and don't have to unfairly split the profits at the end. However, like investors, reputable hard money lenders are also likely to want flippers to have skin in the game as well and require at least some money invested. So it can be hard to find hard money to flip houses with no money. But the good news is that hard money lenders will generally lend up to 90% of the cost of the project. This is referred to as LTC, or loan to cost. Having to come up with 10% down payment for a fix and flip project can still be challenging. However, far easier than forking over 100% of all the costs and giving up half or more of your profits to a faraway capital provider. Other options. Partner investors and hard money lenders are generally the main two options for investors looking to fix without much cash. However, there are other options. Sometimes flippers look to private money, which basically means individuals acting as a hard money lender in their personal capacity. These can be good options. However, adds another layer of risk. And vetting an individual is much harder than a legitimate lender with a strong website, Google reviews, business reputation, and track record. Other options include bank and conventional lenders that offer loans for rehab projects. However, these options are typically much more conservative and harder to qualify for than a hard money loan, especially for borrowers with no money or little money to use to contribute to the flip. Easy Street Capital, great options for fix and flip loans. Easy Street Capital was built on the simple premise of making hard money easy, or helping investors access capital and funding for fix and flips without the headaches common in the industry and without needing to have hundreds of thousands of dollars lying around to finance flips alone. Easy Street's fix and flip loan program provides hard money loans for flippers up to 90% LTC and with competitive interest rates and no junk fees, perfect for aspiring flippers looking to get into real estate investing without having to save up intimidating amounts of money. While our loans generally aren't available for investors with no money, we have helped thousands of investors succeed in flipping with the vast majority of financing provided through our loans. Interested in learning more? Link in the caption for our fix and flip loan guide, quick 5-minute loan app, how to book a call with a hard money loan specialist, and more helpful stuff like this. And please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more high quality info on everything fix and flip.